Welcome, thank you for joining me. 3 stories today and the timestamps are in the description box. Story number 1. Opie writes, I used to be fat, was fat my whole life, until I got bariatric surgery when I was 24 and spent the next year in the gym and turning my life around. I went from 130 kilos to 60 kilos and I started working on how I look. It was after all this that I met my now husband. I have never been shy about my past, and I can't exactly hide it when all my past photos from my childhood up to early adulthood show me as morbidly obese. But my husband never had a problem with it. That's not the case for all people. I have been called a catfish before, but honestly, it's never bothered me. My husband said I was inspirational and that he admired me and would tell me everything I've always wanted to hear someone say. Eventually, we got married and things were good. My weight is stable and my diet is consistent. But I met a new friend called Jasmine at work. Jasmine and I get along like a house on fire, and we are like 2 peas in a pod. I don't know how we have such a similar past, and the same sense of humor, and love the same things, but we do. Our friendship just exploded basically. We go out after work at least once a week and go to new restaurants and bars. Jasmine is a huge foodie and she's making me discover how big of a foodie I am. I still eat healthily and go to the gym 5 days a week, but I find myself looking forward to going out with Jasmine a lot, and I research all the restaurants in the area and we send each other links and we research bars and discuss where we should go next. I'm having so much fun with it, but my husband hates it. Every day he says, quote, you don't want to put on weight, unquote. Quote, because of how you were, it's really easy for you to put on weight, unquote. Quote, you don't want to be as big as you were, unquote. He tries to stop me from going and will constantly call me when I'm out to ask me what I'm eating, to the point that I have to turn my phone off when we are out. When I get home, it becomes a huge argument and he goes on and on about how he just is looking out for my health and how much he cares about me. Like, shut up, dude. I haven't put on a single gram. I'm just having fun. But he nags and it's making me want to binge it until I'm 130 kilos again, just to shove it in his fat gob. Why is he nagging me so much when I'm still skinny, when I'm still going to the gym? My goal to lose weight was never to live a life of strict regimen until I die. It was always to learn to have a better relationship with food so that I learn self-control and can enjoy food without pigging out and causing self-harm. Even if I put on a few kilos, it won't kill me because I'm not overweight. I can just lose them. I think he's scared of me being fat, but the thing is, I am not a separate person from when I was obese. I'm no different from the fat me. That's still me. The fact that he is so scared of that version of me is really sad because we are the same. It brings back really bad memories of how people used to treat me back then. I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but it's annoying. I'm just going to add this here, that mine and Jasmine's friendship is not just food. We go to see movies, we go to each other's houses, we go for hikes, we go shopping, we take the dogs out. We have even flown to Sydney to spend the weekend going to a pet convention. But we are vet nurses, so we never stop all day. We don't get time to sit down and have lunch or take a break. So by the end of the day, we are tired and starving. That's why we have our once a week dinner, and it's not a crime. So stop telling me to not base our friendship on food. It's not based on food. I'm just hungry and I like good eating, especially sushi. And here's Opie's update. Okay, so I spoke to him. The conversation was a mess. He basically said he won't leave me if I get fat or ever, but he broke down crying and said he thinks I'm cheating. I never once even thought of cheating, and I told him he met Jasmine and he said he doesn't trust her to tell him if I cheat. So he has made up his narrative that she is covering for me. I've never even looked at another man since I met my husband, have only ever had eyes for him, and I'm not quiet about that fact. My husband knows very much how I adore him. Dear goodness, this pisses me off more than anything. If that jerk for real. Well, Opie, I recently had a story about a man that started eating healthily and going to the gym, and he wanted his girlfriend to join him and also get in shape. Now that story is very different from this one. I agree that your husband sounds really afraid that you're going to gain weight even though you're still going to the gym and you're watching what you eat. It's once a week that you go out, you say usually once a week that you go out with Jasmine. If you're watching what you're eating and you're going to the gym 5 days a week, then really I don't see either why that is a problem for your husband. And then he comes out that he thinks you're cheating and he can't trust Jasmine to tell him the truth. It sounds like manipulation to me. Emotional blackmail, like he wants you to stop having a friend, like it's not just about the food. I don't think he really wants you to have a close friendship. So you're going to have to think about what it is that you want, OP. Do you want to continue with this relationship or not? You do kind of sound like you're tired of it. And that leads me to believe that there's actually a lot more going on in this relationship than your husband being a nag, about you going out and enjoying yourself and enjoying food once a week. Let's move on to story number 2. Opie writes, Phew, okay, I'm going to try and keep this short. I, 25 female, have been with my partner, 30 male, for 5 years. For the last 5 years, I've done almost everything to progress the relationship further. I asked him to be my boyfriend after being friends with benefits. I said I love you first, etc. He always said not to propose to him because he wants to do that. He always told me that he wanted us to get married, have kids, the whole thing. We moved to another country for better opportunities, and I've been doing great. I've sorted out a lot of my issues that were holding me back. I've started a career, and I'm doing really well. I take care of myself and would like to think that I'm pretty attractive. The issue is he hasn't done any work on himself. I supported him financially during the pandemic. Our intimate life hasn't been great for a while. He is not romantic at all, and during the pandemic, I thought he'd lost his mojo. Long story short, I thought he would get back on his feet and become my perfect man. Spoiler alert, he did not. He's back working and contributing financially, but he has no ambitions. He does nothing romantic for me, never tries to take the load off me for everything I do around the house. To give you an idea, I pay bills, keep track of finances, do groceries, cook and clean. He does his own laundry, mows the lawn, and occasionally takes the trash out. He just sits on the couch watching YouTube or gaming. On to the straw that broke the camel's back. I'd left a jug on the counter for 3 days to be washed after I'd made iced tea. It was rinsed, just needed a proper wash, and it couldn't go in the dishwasher, so I kept forgetting about it. LOL, ADHD. He asked me the afternoon to please clean it, but I didn't clean it that afternoon. Honestly, because I deep cleaned the bathroom instead and didn't think a single jug was that important. He threw it in the bin a few hours later, which who does that? I told him, quote, Hey, I know I forgot about the jug for a little while, but can you please not throw it away? Unquote. He yelled in response, quote, I'm sick of stuff cluttering the bench, unquote. Again, I'd like to point out that it was one single item. He doesn't cook, and if he had just cleaned the jug himself, it would have been done after 2 minutes. He's been giving me the silent treatment, probably expecting me to tuck my tail between my legs and say something like, quote, I've been such a bad housewife for not cleaning immediately, wah, unquote. And honestly, I'm so effing done. Why am I letting myself be stressed out like this? Getting yelled at by a grown-ass man over a bloody jug. A man who does nothing for me. I don't have a ring on my finger after over 5 years. If he had wanted to get me one, he could have. I came to a moment of realization a few days ago. He doesn't love me. At least not in the way that I need him to. He's complacent and I'm motivated to make a beautiful, gorgeous future for myself. I don't need advice. I already know what I'm going to do. There's nothing keeping me here. I'm going to break up with him, move countries and start a new life. If this, I deserve so much better. Please wish me luck at staying strong. I need to do this for myself. I'm just sad about my cat. She's going to miss him more than I will. Here's Opie's update. Well, I did it. I just said, quote, sorry, but I'm breaking up with you, unquote. Honestly, that was super hard. I really love him. There was no ring, no yelling, no trying to manipulate me to stay, and I'm so grateful for that. He understood why. He realized that it was all of the little things he never did for me. We spent last night crying and eating pizza, wishing that we could have made it work. I'm sad right now, really sad. It was a long time of my life, and I can't really see my future without him just yet. But I know that I did the right thing, and I'm excited for the future. Thank you for everyone who commented on my original post. Sorry if I didn't update correctly. I'm a newbie here. Thank you for all your support, Reddit. You really helped me stay strong. Well, OP, I agree with you. It sounds like your boyfriend was never that serious about you. And also it sounds like the kind of person that gets very comfortable in a relationship and stops putting in effort. So the jug, and the thing that happened with the jug, it's just that, as you said, the last straw. There were a lot of little things over the years, and that was the thing that finally gave you that aha moment. It sounds like this breakup is the best thing for the both of you. So I wish the two of you the best, OP. And on we go to story number 3. OP writes, I, 30 female, and my husband, 35 male, have a daughter, 3. Since day one, everyone has praised my husband, saying things like, quote, you're such a good daddy, unquote, or, quote, she's so lucky to have you as her daddy, unquote. Never once has anybody said the same thing to me about being a mom. Lately, it's been eating away at me. He boasts about being a good dad, and he is fairly good, but I still do the brunt of the work. I rearrange my work schedule to accommodate everything for our daughter. I do most of the childcare except on rare occasions. I run to the store and she stays with Dad. He acts like I'm dramatic about the stressful days, but he hasn't been alone with her for more than a few hours at a time since she was born. I work from home and she stays home with me while I work. So I'm working my 40-hour-a-week job and being a stay-at-home mom and running a small business from our house. Just once, it would be nice to be acknowledged for all I do. I feel like I'm just going to throw up if I have to hear one more time how good of a dad he is. I know I shouldn't feel this way, but I do, and I don't know how to stop or how to tell anybody what I truly need without coming across as insane. And here's the update. I sent my husband this thread. I asked him to read some of the comments and then we could talk. His initial reaction was disgust for some of the hateful comments demonizing me for how I felt. His second reaction was apologetic because he didn't realize how much I had taken on. We talked about the mental load, and we are going to designate certain household duties as his to help take some off my plate. He's also taking our daughter for a daddy/daughter day this weekend, so they will have more time together and I'll get some time to myself to recharge. The day is his to plan/pack/prepare for. It's the first small step in the right direction. We're going to do weekly check-ins with each other as well, see how the other is feeling and reevaluate things as needed. For those who left kind words of encouragement and helpful advice, thank you. For the person who told me to divorce my husband, just know we both laughed at that comment, because wow. And for the people telling me to just be grateful he's in my daughter's life, his response was, quote, just because I'm here doesn't mean I'm setting the best example. I don't want her growing up and feeling like you do is what's expected of her in a relationship. She shouldn't ever settle for that, and you shouldn't have to either, unquote. Well, OP, that is the way it's done. Adults should be able to speak to each other to discuss issues in the relationship and find solutions. So stay on track with that. Keep doing those weekly check-ins with each other and your relationship will get stronger and stronger. Well, that's it for now. Thank you so much for joining me, for listening to these stories. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.